if something very unpleasant and frightening happens, we brilliantly hide this away inside ourselves. Yet I will tell you something you will learn if you actually read Velikovsky. He explains, since he is a master of psychology, actually he would have face-to-face personal meetings with Freud, that while humans deliberately forget the near planetary collisions and intergalactic wars, they did and so do something else. While they conceal, they also reveal. Humans cannot help but unconsciously revealing what they've seen or experienced. They might not even know they are revealing it, or somehow depicting it through a play on the stage, through a musical composition, through a painting, through a novel, but they do reveal it. And an aware master like Velikovsky noticed this. Please be observant. Be aware. Be conscious. If you are aware, if you are conscious, if you are observant, then you will begin to turn on your suprasensorial powers. The aware person is the powerful person. Remember the three monkeys. Remember them? One has its hands on its eyes, the next has its hands over its ears, and the third has its hands over its mouth. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Ignorance, which is simply the lack of consciousness, leads directly to weakness and vulnerability to negative extraterrestrial entities and terrestrial entities. After my most shocking, amazing, and life-changing personal experience of seeing 2 UFOs one night at Jones Beach on Long Island, New York, I too experienced denial of a sort, but much worse. In a sense, was the denial of the person who I was with at the time. First, I want to come clean about my own denial and amnesia. I saw 2 immense orbs. Now, you can go back into the podcast, into the archives for a complete description of my sighting. 2 immense orbs who gazed at me. 2 giant eyes peering from the depths of deepest space, and at the same time existing in the space only yards away from me, hovering over the beach, almost in my face. My amnesia? It is this: while I saw at the time of the visitation that the 2 orbs each were changing, shifting between 2 brilliant colors, and saying to myself, I must remember these colors, I do not remember the colors today. Was I taken? Did more occur than I remember? And that is why I have forgotten the colors, for to remember them might open the doors to remembering other things too awful or too overwhelming to remember. But my friend, You know, the one who ran, and when she saw these and ran into my car and locked all the doors. I saw her at a party about 6 months later, and I asked her, remember that night at Jones Beach when we saw the 2 UFOs? She looked at me and said, no, I don't remember seeing any UFOs. And then she walked away. Well, about another 6 months, almost exactly, passed. And again, there she was at another party. So, for some reason, I needed her to acknowledge the fact that I had seen what I had seen. So I asked her again, don't you remember the night we saw those 2 giant orbs floating up onto the beach towards us? She became pale. She started shaking. I saw the color drain out of her face. I felt her cold fear as she said very quietly, yes, I remember, but I don't want to talk about it, and walked away again. I did not press her to talk further. I suppose I had all the information I needed. Actually, a confirmation. That's what I needed. That's what I wanted. There was more to the encounter, but that's a report for another podcast. However, I had a glimpse at the time of someone. The person who was with me, who observed, who was also a witness to these events, having to use some kind of superhuman effort to face a memory that she did not want to face, but to dredge up that awful memory out of the dungeon of denial, all out of just her friendship for me, to give me the confirmation I needed. Well, J. Allen Hynek, a name you're familiar with, I'm sure, a scientist, uttered the following words, quote, I think there, and he's talking about UFOs, I think there's something much more metaphysical than extraterrestrial. They may be from a parallel universe. The mystics and great religious leaders have told us for a long time that the physical world we see around us is not the sum total of our environment, that there are other planes of existence. If evidence suggests that there is a paranormal dimension to the UFO phenomenon, we are going to have to pursue that. UFOs signal what may well be the end of the quote-unquote normal world and the coming of another one. So that's what Dr. J. Allen Hynek, the famous scientist, said. But we are dealing with something that is not so simple as UFOs are all evil, as you will hear some Christians say, or UFOs are all good, as you will hear many New Age people say. Many spiritually minded people divide the visitors into 2 categories. 1, Satan's emissaries, or 2, our space brothers sent to enlighten, heal all our diseases, and bring us into the intergalactic federation where all will be light, joy, and happiness. Well, just like on planet Earth, from the highest echelons of secret government to your small office politics, there is good and there is evil. So too, on the intergalactic scale, as we welcome those visitors who come in the spirit of energetic flow and the infinite variety of the Supreme Reality's creation, we must also prepare ourselves to deal with those already here and who are coming, who seek power, and even worse, seek to cause pain and suffering because they themselves are filled with pain and suffering. Study the Nazi SS in order to understand the psychology of evil. Evil cannot always be defeated, but it can always be resisted. To know the gods is to have a chance at besting them. And I use that gods with a small g. Maybe we cannot win, but we should go down fighting. At least we will make a statement for all time that we stood up to those forces that seek to enslave us, to make us into mere caricatures of what real humans are. And just maybe, through our hard work and dedication, we might just maybe hit on something that can turn the tide of this battle. The controllers want you to fear them. But in the end, when you lose the fear, you realize they are just sad, pathetic, fearful creatures standing in their underpants. Control freaks, trying to frighten, manipulate, and intimidate everyone. It is an ancient battle, which has gone under many names and called many things. The 100 Years' War, World War II, death derivatives, fraud by the cream of the American dream, the MBAs and Wall Street tycoons, which in one sense represent all that we Americans are taught to be proud of. Oh yes, think about it for a moment. How so often our parents tell us, become a doctor, become a lawyer, work hard so you can get your MBA in international finance, or start working on Wall Street. That impresses many of us. And these are the people who get to buy beautiful homes, who get the trophy wife, who have the 2.3 children going to private Catholic schools. We save our money, or our parents, painstakingly. I know my dear parents, God bless their souls, my mother worked 2 jobs in addition to my father's income to send me to a private school for 12 years. So, and we're following in the footsteps of our parents, saving money because we want to send our children to the best schools so that they too can learn and receive a master's in business administration, to become CEOs, who fought on the side of the evil ones, causing, remember, catastrophic pension fund losses. Let's put the responsibility where it belongs. Wall Street's fraud and fund mismanagement. Yet almost everyone is in denial, as we were when planets nearly collided and the sun changed its course. Yet we do not rise up in rage and ask, "Where is our money?" Nevertheless, it is all the same battle, all the same denial. Denial is not a river in Egypt. We always forget, and so we are doomed to repeat our mistakes over and over, like some broken robots that just keep cycling over and over again. Oh, wait a second, you might think I'm talking about history. No, I'm talking about your life. Excuse me if I'm getting a little too personal, but I want you to have, I really want you to have a wonderful life. So you need to hear this. Not just in history do we repeat history over and over again, but in our personal lives. Do you ever notice the people who say, "Why do I always end up with the same type of guy? Why do I always end up with the same type of woman?" Yes. Well, it's not just your friends who are saying it. Take a good look at yourself. Now, the oath. It is time. This oath is a powerful oath. An oath can truly empower you, fill you with power, determination, will, and an indefatigable strength. I suggest you listen and then later replay this podcast and speak along in your mind with me. I will endeavor to post these oaths onto YouTube in the podcast description, the video description, so that you can read them there. This oath in no way wrongfully connects or binds you to me. Have no fear. I am not doing any magic here. I am just teaching you something. This is an oath we are taking together. It does not make me your leader or representative, for that would be the exact thing that you and I are fighting against. This oath is your belief and my belief in our sacred sovereignty, making us the metaphysical freedom fighter for our own freedom and for the freedom of humankind. So here is the oath, along with the afterword that goes with it. I swear by the infinite mind of the universe that is God within and about me, and by all gods and goddesses, and powers of good that be, all these things taking witness that, according to my God-given ability and judgment, I will in every way keep this, my oath and covenant. I dedicate above all else in my life to lift others from lack of wholeness in their minds, bodies, and souls. I will abstain from every voluntary act of injustice and corruption in the practice of my metaphysical art. I swear that I will not take advantage of those who place their trust in me as their metaphysical doctor, nor take advantage of them due to their weakness in mind, body, or spirit, but rather rid them of their weakness, which is my chosen profession. I will be compassionate to those who are broken of spirit, but will not overindulge them in sympathy to keep them weak. Rather, I will teach them of the strength and power they have within themselves to resurrect their spirit and thus their lives. I will discourage those who find comfort in glorifying me, glorifying instead the power within them that has made them whole, and encourage them to say to all that the power is within them to do likewise. I share the knowledge of the power within by my metaphysical art. I am a practitioner of self-discovery and seek not my own personal glory, but rather to glorify others within themselves. I will hold in confidence the guarded secrets of those who bare their souls to me in private. I will never make their words public except in passing to teach others by way of their experiences, but without identifying them in any way or in consultation with my colleagues in discussing their good, knowing that my colleagues likewise honor this sacred trust. I shall nourish a sense of humor within myself as a part of my healing. I may bring a sense of lightness to the hearts of others, that we may laugh together at the foolishness of the mortal mind, to better contrast and thus glorify the immortal mind within us all. I swear to set aside personal pettiness and personal pride in my associations with my colleagues, which it may never take precedent over the time we have on this earth to be of service to others through our common metaphysical practices. I swear that if the spirit and intelligence of universal life grants me substance to provide me with the means to pursue this, my chosen profession, to the spirit of life, I swear that I shall thank it every day of my life that I have been able to be of service to others through my art, knowing well within myself that there is no greater way that I could be living my life. While I keep this oath inviolate and unbroken, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and my metaphysical art forever honored by humans, not for my personal recognition, but rather that I have caused them to recognize the power within themselves. However, should I, by transgression, violate this oath, mine be the reverse. I swear this oath in my heart, where the intelligence of the universe, which is my God, forever knows my innermost thoughts, and so it is. Be true to your clan, your art, your family, and to yourself. Be without fear in the face of your enemies. Be brave and upright, that you love God as God loves you. Speak the truth always, even if it leads to your death. Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Do not speak ill of yourself or of gossip of others. Use the power of your words for love, compassion, and truth. Take no offense to anything on a personal level, for what others say and do is of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and action of others, you will not be the victim of needless suffering. Do not take anything personally. Nothing another does is because of you. Do not make assumptions. Find the courage within to ask questions and express what you truly want for the highest good. Communicate with others clearly so as to avoid miscommunication and drama. Your actions are thoughtful acts, not reactions. Your actions are done for the highest good. Always do your very best. Understand that your best will change from moment to moment, depending on the circumstances, your health, and the timing. Safeguard the helpless and do no wrong. Always mind your surroundings. You must become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. Use them for the betterment of the righteous. Remember that the hardest, deepest, most meaningful journey is the journey inwards. If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, you become something else entirely. Are you ready to begin? That is your oath.